Hello everybody and welcome to this Let's Revisit of Dark Souls, or should that be Let's Play Dark Souls, because this is the remastered version, where a few changes, but important changes have been made. The game now runs at 60 FPS, and the Let's Play will show that, and the game now actually has a working multiplayer, which is fantastic. Now, last time we went through this game, many years ago on the channel, we went through with a sort of pyromancy dexterity build. Now this time, we're not going to be doing that. We're actually not even going to be starting in a normal fashion either. Oh no, we've got new things planned. But first of all, we must welcome back Lady Kiko. Except this time, Lady Kiko's no lady or lord. There's no title for Lady Kiko. Instead, this is Thick Kiko. Because this time, we are going strength build. Big, huge strength build. We are going for poise. We're going for sheer raw damage and output, mainly because it's funny, and something a little bit different as well. Now, I'm going to take the Master Key. We start as a Pyromancer to be level 1, of course, because that's the most important thing here. We are going to be large. We're going to have a Delta Farmer face. We're going to have the ponytail. That ponytail, sure, why not? And we're going to have, this time, we're going to have silver hair. For Lady Kiko, this time no lady. It's just a commoner. This time we're going to go. Now, I'm going to let the old woman tell you the story of Dark Souls, and then we're not going to go see the Taurus Demon. No, we're going to do some other things. Let's go.
In the age of ancients, the world was unformed, shrouded by fog. A land of grey crags, arch trees, and everlasting dragons. But then there was fire, and with fire came disparity. Heat and cold, life and death, and of course, light and dark. Then from the dark they came and found the souls of lords within the flame. Nito, the first of the dead. The Witch of Asylum and her daughters of chaos. Gwyn, the Lord of Sunlight, and his faithful knights. And the furtive pygmy, so easily forgotten. With the strength of lords, they challenged the dragons. Gwyn's mighty bullets peeled apart their stone scales. The witches weaved great firestorms. Nito unleashed a miasma of death and disease. And Seath, the Scaleless, betrayed his own, and the dragons were no more. Thus began the Age of Fire. But soon the flames will fade, and only dark will remain. Even now, there are only embers. And man sees not light, but only endless nights. And amongst the living are seen carriers of the accursed dark side.
You may ask, what does all that have to do with us? You'll find out. Now, we are in
Yes,
Oh,
indeed.
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to talk over you.
The dark sign brands the undead.
Indeed it does. He's undead. We're undead. Everyone's undead. Isn't that nice?
And in this land, the undead are corralled and led to the north. Where they are locked away to await the end of the world.
I mean, one, that's just rude, but two, who actually looks after this place? I've always wondered that. You have an undead asylum, sure, but, you know, how do they get them in here?
Is your fate.
And who makes sure the cells are all locked? This is a pretty crappy place to be. Fate looks bad. But luckily, we are Lady Kiko. But Lady no more, for we are the Kiko. And we will make our escape. Hey! Thanks, Oscar. That's Oscar. He's a nice man. We look a bit grisly, but it's not really that important. What is important is that we make our escape. We need to bust out of this cell, and we do so by just getting the item that Oscar threw down to us. He's such a lovely boy. Now, unlike the very first run of Dark Souls, I will not be killing these fine foes. I won't even be looking at that weird gribbly creature over there. And I won't be checking the signs on the floor, since they are all tutorial signs. Don't worry, if you're new to this, I will still explain what I'm doing as I'm doing it, and what things do, so don't worry. Now, what the plan is to get out of this asylum full of horrible, horrible creatures as soon as possible. We're not lighting these bonfires. Now, what the bonfires do, they essentially checkpoint us. If we die, we restart the bonfire. They heal us to full. They restore all of the enemies, barring bosses. Say hello to that guy there, by the way. And they restore all our potions and our spells. Now, we're not too worried about that because we don't need to rest any. Look at this gigantic fool. We're gonna stab him in the little scrotum thing he's got going on there. Then we're gonna run away because we're mean like that. So we can't really do anything to that boss right now. Well, we could. It'd just take forever, and ain't no one got time for that. And instead, we're going to take the shield and not equip it because we're bad. And we're going to avoid this. This guy's really cowardly. Yeah. So we just scream, "I am sinister," and run after him. He goes around the corner, and we equip the hand axe that has given us. And he runs up the stairs, and he tries to get into a better position to shoot us with his arrows. But we don't care about that. We're just going to give him a backstab. Boop. Lovely. Fantastic. The axe is going to be our friend for approximately 20 to 30 minutes. If that, to be honest. We're going to probably toss it before then. By the way, pay attention to this special item here. We will be coming back to get it. And if anyone's curious, we are above where we were. There's the bonfire, and there's the doors we went through to run into that horrible demon. Now, we got to say hello to our friend Oscar. Now, Oscar's in a bit of a pickle. Somehow he managed to get behind this door. I think he dropped in through the ceiling. I think that's the implication here, and he got stuck. Hey, Oscar.
Oh, you. You're no hollow.
No, not hollow. Pay no attention to my face.
I'm done for, I'm afraid.
Oh, no.
I'll die soon.
Oh, no.
Then lose myself.
Oh, no.
I wish to ask something of you.
Well, by all means.
You and I, we're both undead.
We are? No, not at all. No.
Hear me out, will you?
I will hear you out, Oscar. By all means. You saved me. You let me out of my cell. I really appreciate that.
Regrettably,
Ugh.
I have failed in my mission.
Oh, Oscar.
But perhaps you can keep the torch lit.
I will try.
There is an old saying in my family. Thou who art undead art chosen. And thine exodus from the undead asylum maketh pilgrimage to the land of ancient lords. When thou ringeth the bell of awakening, the fate of the undead thou shalt know. Well, now you know. And I can die with hope in my heart. Oh, one more thing.
So sad. So sad.
Here, take this. An Estus Flask. An undead favorite.
Oscar, would you say it is dangerous to go alone? Here, take this. Thanks, old man. So, the Estus Flask allow us to heal. They get restored at the bonfire. So if we use all 5, go to a bonfire, we get them back. It's very handy.
Oh, and this.
Oh yeah, we need this too. This is the key to leave the undead asylum. Thanks.
Now I must bid farewell. I would hate to harm you after death. So go now. And thank you.
No, Oscar. Thank you. Rest in peace, brother. Oh! Oh, that noise. But on the plus side, we get his souls. Yay! Hey. Hey. These guys are grumpy. Oh, you hit me. How rude. Now, we get one other goodie while we are here that's absolutely relevant to what we're doing, which is the Pyromancy Glove. Now, we're not going to be using that, probably, for anything, well, now. What we are going to do is lure this lovely undead here. Kill him. We don't want to get stuck by an arrow, so we're just going to roll through that, and then kill this guy. There's another grumpy undead around that corner, but we're not worried about that. And what we're going to do is kill the tutorial boss. Now, this is really, really easy for anyone who's played Dark Souls. You just basically run behind him and smack it. But he does look very intimidating if you've never played like the game before. So, oops, I rolled the wrong way. That was my fault. So something to bear in mind, that the key to this fight is to stay behind him. He has great jiggle physics, by the way. Now, once you're behind him, he will try and jump in the air like that, and then try and squish you. Now, he can't really hurt you, this guy, so you just wail on him once he does that little jump. Like so. And then he dies. Easy peasy. I got hit because I was being dumb, but otherwise, nothing particularly dangerous about this guy. The most important thing to remember if you are struggling is to avoid the mace. You know, it's really big and well, it's not very helpful, is it? No, I'm sorry. Jokes aside, get behind him. Easy peasy. You'll have a lot of trouble hitting you, and if you think the mace is going to actually get to you, just roll. Alternatively, start as a pyromancer like we have, and you can equip the pyromancy flame along with the fireball skill. This does lots and lots and lots of damage to the demon. So if you're having trouble, try using the pyromancy. It really does help, I promise. Now, we've got to get out of here, of course. The undead asylum is a terrible place, and we're in the middle of nowhere. It reminds me of like where I grew up. Thank you, parents. And we want to get the hell out of here.
Only in the ancient legends it is
They're talking about me! Hey!
that one day an undead shall be chosen.
Do you want to know how you know you're chosen? You get to travel by bird. Yeah! Bye!
To leave the undead asylum in pilgrimage
Sweet.
to the land of the ancient lords.
And what do you call this land of ancient lords? Is it something really cool?
Lordsville.
Oh, that's so not cool. It's just like, it's such a... I always thought this was really weird, by the way. You got like, alright, my loves, what should we call our place? Like, should we call it Lordshire? Oh, no, that's rubbish. Ooh, should we call it Lordsville? No. Oh, what about Lordran? Oh, I love it. It's so perfect because it's got lords in it. Oh, I love lords. Lords are amazing. Lovely. Now, talking of like silly names aside, we've actually landed at the main hub of the game, Filing Shrine. Now, we do lots and lots and lots of different things at Filing Shrine. We can finally level up. Now, because we're going on a little pilgrimage, we are going to level up in a rather specific way this game. But, what we're going to do is do one of those, do one of those, one of those. Right. Now, if you're brand new to the game, I highly recommend doing this, going that way. However, even if you are new to the game, you can do what we're about to do, which is go down and do something a little bit different. Now, for those of you who played Dark Souls for donkey's years, this is almost assuredly old hat. You've probably seen this millions times before, and I'm sorry if it's nothing new to you. However, if you don't know about this, you can get a really, really good couple of upgrades to start the game with, especially if you're doing a strength build like we are. Because we are being thick, Kiko, and we're going to be extra thick in the sense that we're going to have lots and lots of strength and lots of poise. And there's a really good way of doing this. Now, first things first, we send the lift back up, and we have gone down to the ruins of New Londo. This is a mid to late game area, and we're not going to be staying here very long because it's scary and it's full of ghosts. But there is an item we wish to grab, and it's very, very handy. And we're going to run all the way to the item and quickly grab it. Now, it's very possible I will die when I grab this item. It doesn't really matter. If I survive in this, or if I die in this particular part, it will save me about 20 to 30 seconds if I live, compared to if I die. In fact, it might not even be that much, but it's why I sent the lift back up, because it's very possible I'll snuff it. Now, over there, there's a little island. This is New Londo, by the way. It's lovely. It's got blue flames and lots of ghosts. Over there, there's a man running away from ghosts. Over there is an item we desperately want. Now, the ghosts desperately want to keep us away from it. I love upsetting the locals, even if they're non-corporeal. And so we run across this very, very thin, dubious ledge to get to this item, which is what we want, the Firekeeper's Soul. And what we do, we run past all these ghosts, excuse me, come through, and we roll, and we should get away with it. Yep, perfect. And what we do, we quickly scoot all the way to the exit, and run back. Now, the ghosts behave themselves. We did a nice dodge there, so we've got the item completely unscathed and we get to leave. Now, I'm going to read to you what the item does. So if I get the item thingy up and I go, oops, to about here, I can read to you what this does. So, the Firekeeper's soul, soul of a long-lost Firekeeper. Each Firekeeper is a corporeal manifestation of her bonfire and a draw for the humanity which is offered to her. Her soul is gnawed by infinite humanity and can boost the power of the precious Estus Flasks. It can be used to gain humanity and restore HP at the cost of losing the Firekeeper's soul to reinforce Estus Flask. Now, what that means in English is it upgrades our potions, and it allows them to heal more, which is an incredibly valuable item to get so early on in the game. Now, there is an ability to get another Estus Flask here in Blighttown. All you essentially do, if you want to do this particular run, I don't recommend it for a couple of reasons, and I'll go into that in a little bit, but you run straight ahead, you take 3 or I think it's 4 ladders down, and you run into a very thin sort of sewer, aqueducty sort of looking area with lots of blow dart men, and get another Firekeeper soul right there. It's very easy, it takes about a minute to get there. But I'm not going to get that because it actually does an event that I don't want to set off yet. I'm sorry to be so esoteric and mysterious about everything, but it will make sense in a little bit. Now, for those who are curious, we are in the Valley of the Drakes. Again, this is a mid to late game area that we've appeared in. It's more of a transition area to other places. There's a dragon here, not a drake, so sorry about that. There are drakes over there though. There's a blue fuzzy one you can probably see in the background. It's very nice. Over that rock here, that's New Londo where we just were with all the ghosts. And above us, you can probably see that viaduct up there. That is the Filing Shrine area. So we're not too far. We're going to scoot past this very dead dragon. He's very dead, even exceptionally. He's all grisly. I'm going to take this item, but not the ones in his grasp. We take the ones in his grasp, he wakes up, gets angry. And if you wake him up, you do 2 quick rolls and you can avoid him, but we don't need the items. Not for this run, so we're not particularly worried. We'll get them later. Now, this can go horribly wrong as well. This is another place where it's very, very easy to quickly die, and we're going to try and avoid that if at all possible. So, you have to excuse me, so I need to start running now. We start there, and then we scoot to the right. What we want to do is avoid the tail. There we go. That's the hardest bit done. So what we do, we just quickly sprint past the next drake. That drake looks there. The drake starts to breathe. Okie doke. Oh, he decided to fly. That's not too much of a problem. So we run past those drakes. And what I will do is, I want to show you something before we continue. Because I think it's quite cool. And I don't want to feel like I'm absolutely motoring past everything, because it's a bit rubbish. Actually, I'll show you if I pull the next thing off, actually. That's a better idea. We'll go back and we'll have a look. First things first, I'm going to rest at the bonfire. Because the next thing I'm about to do, it's very likely I'm going to die. Now, I want to make sure that if I do die, I restart at the bonfire. Okay. So we're actually heading into the forest now. Again, this is not a normal start, but it's useful. Oh, you dick. Now. Excellent. That was really, really good. What I want to be doing is I want to be parrying this fella. Now, unfortunately, he decided to do a long stab before I got around the corner, which was just a bit unlucky. Luckily, because we got the bonfire, we can just go straight back. It's not a huge deal, and as you can see, it's like 2 seconds away from our death. Now, what I actually want to do, if he's behaving himself... Do you mind? I'm trying to show people something cool. Do you mind? Do you mind? Thank you. Right, what we're actually trying to do is this. It is a riposte. Now, this particular Black Knight is actually a little bit awkward when it comes to the... Oops. Thank you, camera. It's a little bit awkward when it comes to the actual animation. Because he's got like a really long sweeping arc. Oops. Okay, that was unfortunate. Didn't get him. Now, we don't want to knock him off. Because he actually sometimes drops really nice items. And we won't really get that if we do that. So all we're doing here is just running behind him, giving him the old backstab and riposting. The timing on the riposte is actually reasonably tricky. So this is a little bit more difficult than it looks. I don't know if it looks difficult, but trust me it is. So, bonk. We've only got to do a few ripostes. It's nothing awful. I can actually heal to avoid if I end up getting, like, stabbed. There we go. If he does one particular animation, it's actually really difficult to parry, essentially, and riposte. But we should be okay, as long as I don't accidentally knock him off, which is a complete nightmare tunnel. I'll end up restarting. So let's, there we go. And he's almost down. And once we got this guy down, that's one of the more tricky parts out of the way. We could actually finish him off with a flame attack, but we're not going to. There we go, and he's dead. Cool. So, if he's really nice, he'll drop his weapon. But otherwise, he'll probably just drop some other bits. So let's find out. He did drop the halberd. Very nice. That was a fantastic gain. So that was totally worth it. Now, we'll get the grass crest shield here. Probably the shield we're using for the entire run. It gives us a stamina regen, which is lovely.